what is collateralization?
It's basically using two properties for a loan. So if you were to have some value, purchasing a property and you have some value in another property, using both those properties, collateralizing them together, and then using it to move forward on a loan. Private lenders like to use this strategy when lending money. Hey guys, Josh and Aaron from the Finlay Mortgage team, and in today's video we're going to do a deep dive into a video we shot a little while ago with Matt McKeever in regards to cross-collateralization. We found that a lot of investors and homeowners got a lot of value from this video. Let's dive right in.
Collateralization. Definitely something that most beginner investors won't hear about. So let's talk about what is collateralization.
Sure, yeah. So collateralization is basically using two properties for a loan. So if you were to have some value, purchasing a property and you have some value in another property, using both those properties, collateralizing them together, and then using it to move forward on a loan. Some added benefits to using this type of tool in your investor workbox or toolbox is going to be that primarily private lenders like to use this strategy when lending money, first of all. Reason one is that it makes them more comfortable with putting money out in regards to loan to value. And reason two for the borrower side is that if you extend the two pieces of collateral and have a lower loan to value, your rate actually might be a little lower than what you thought to begin with. So,
okay.
Yeah.
And then so when looking at why an investor might use it or how they would plug and play this into their strategies, do you guys mind just kind of breaking that down for us?
Sure.
Yeah, so one of the big aspects is, having that collateral on the charge on another property. The big thing is it gives the lender a little bit more peace of mind. He knows it's going to mitigate his risk a little bit, so it allows him to maybe be a little bit more creative. So maybe we can extend that loan to value out a little bit more if you're looking to get a little bit of extra mortgage on the property as well too. And sometimes just with a riskier property, as well, maybe it's a riskier situation, having that collateral on the other property gives the lender peace of mind and allows them to actually just move through with the transaction, if nothing else as well too. So it's really on the lender's behalf. It's helping him to mitigate his risk and allowing him to be much more comfortable with a deal that maybe requires some creative financing and some creative solutions.
Yeah, I like to think of it as like liquid money for a down payment without being liquid. Like, you still have the equity and you can use it, you just don't have to refinance to take it out and start playing with it.
And do you guys mind maybe going a little bit deeper into this just to make sure that the audience understands? So what exactly does this look like? Is the lender putting a new charge on my existing property? Do you mind just breaking that down? Sure.
So the way it's going to work is if you're using a cross-collateralization approach, primarily you're purchasing a property or you're going to be refinancing a larger property. So you see it a lot in commercial lending where somebody will be purchasing a property and the value, they won't have enough liquid assets to be able to do it. So they'll get this other property that they have or they own, it's a rental property, whatever it is, and they will have some equity in that property. So the lender will actually make the charge on both properties. So if you have a first mortgage on your initial property, it'll go in second position on that property and basically eat up the equity that they're going to be using, on top of also making a first charge on your purchase as well.
And so that second charge that's going on the property, is that going to 100% loan to value, or does it depend upon the amount I'm borrowing?
Well, I think it's dependent on how much the lender wants to use of it. So if you have like a $500,000 charge on your first property, he's going to collateralize it with that other charge on the second property as well.
Okay. And then so taking it one step further, what are my costs?
Great question. So there are some extra costs associated with using this tool. You're going to have an additional fee with the lawyers, so it's going to be the same thing as registering on title with your initial property, except you're going to have to register again on the second property as well. So you're going to have to go through registering on title, pulling a PIN, going through the same process, so you're definitely going to see an increase in lawyer fees when closing on a transaction like that.
And then, is there any other steps involved? Does it take longer than a traditional mortgage?
Sure, so I don't think it takes longer. I think the capacity of the lawyer's office to close a transaction. They're usually decently quick and they know what they're doing. Something to also consider is if you are going to be using that piece of property as collateral, most lenders or financial institutions are going to look to get an appraisal or at least some sort of valuation on the property. So you may have to pay out of pocket again to get that value to be able to support what the lender wants in regards to the value for that piece of land.
Yeah, and just one thing to follow up there as well too is it's important to note who may hold the first mortgage on that other property. There are some financial institutions that have clauses that don't allow for secondary charges or mortgages to be placed under there. So that's something to keep in mind as well too when determining what properties you might take. Well guys, that was a great video. I wish I could collateralize Josh here, but unfortunately he's just not worth that much. Anyways guys, we're gonna have a lot of other great videos coming out. Feel free to stay tuned and comment below.